Boy, do we've got a crew tonight. We're talking with Pete Hammond from Deadline.com, Lisa Johnson Mandell from Cumulus Radio, and also HGTV. There they are. I put the picture up finally. The director's a little slow. It's not like Ron DeMarias is here cutting this thing. Yes. He was our old director at ET. And David Freeman. David produces a show called Just Seen It, which is a great weekly show. I like it because it's sort of folks inside the biz, producers and things who know what they're talking about, but it's not pretentious in any way, shape, or form. No, we're not. And you shoot it here in Los Angeles?
Yes, shot here in Los Angeles, and it's 3 people discussing movies. It's not just one person. Right. It's not 2 back and forth. You get 3 people. It's like you do after you go see a movie. You go out, you get a cup of coffee with your friends, and you talk about it. That's exactly what Just Seen It is.
And by the way, you could go online. Actually, you can go online and see all these cats. You go to Deadline.com, which is a great entertainment. In fact, Andy, what we ought to do is just basically steal all of our information off of Deadline.com and then claim that it's ours.
There is an item on there that we should talk about.
What?
Which Pete
Yes, it's just announced that Ben Affleck is the new Batman.
No.
Yes, and what this movie is that he's been announced for is Superman and Batman together. So they're fast-tracking it. It is the sequel to Man of Steel, which is one of the summer movies,
right?
That came out in June, and it was a big hit. I personally thought it was a disaster, that movie. I thought they ruined Superman.
Well, you're just too critical, Pete.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And I blame you.
I'm sorry, but that movie, I don't know. But now they're going to team Batman with Superman, and Ben Affleck was just cast. It was just announced like half an hour ago.
Oh, my God. You heard it first.
Yeah.
You heard it first on...
The Universal Broadcasting Network.
Thank you, Andy. This is in. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So hopefully it's better than Man of Steel.
Well, that's pretty cool. Is Jennifer Garner going to be Catgirl?
Well, wasn't Jennifer Garner an action movie?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Electra?
Remember Alias?
The TV show, yeah.
Alias, but I thought she was also cast in some superhero role. Electra.
We saw her early on. She was great. I almost did a baby show with her, and she was a ton of fun. Nice. Yeah, I know. And this is before she was married and had babies. That's Hollywood for you.
That's acting.
Okay, let's talk about biggest surprises of the summer. We're talking about summer movies here, how they fared, and so far we've talked about some successes, some shockers. What were the big surprises of summer? David, let me start with you.
2 big surprises of the summer are both very small indie movies that I'm not sure many people saw, but they bowled me over. The first one was The Way, Way Back.
My favorite movie of the summer.
There we
Steve
go.
Carell.
Fabulous.
My favorite movie.
Toni Collette. What an amazing
Sam Rockwell.
Yes.
Oscar nomination. Has to be.
Most underrated actor in Hollywood.
Absolutely. Look at. We have synergy here, and I'm glad I was the one that kicked it off.
Is it? Wait a minute. Did you guys like this because you're like our Hollywood intellectuals?
No, it's not a Hollywood intellectual.
You guys are just screaming liberal intellectuals, and so you like a movie like that?
It's about a 14-year-old coming-of-age movie over the summer.
It's such a
great.
Sweet movie.
Anybody who's ever gone through puberty will like this.
There you go. That's it.
Rob, do you remember?
That's a great quote.
Puberty?
I'm still going through it. So anyway.
Okay, so The Way, Way Back.
Okay,
and I'm
Way,
glad
Way
we
Back.
got a unanimous on that.
All right.
And let's try the other one, Europa Report.
Which I haven't seen. I want to go see
I haven't
it.
seen it either.
Oh my God. Okay.
Que pasa Europa Report.
I know.
Europa Report is another
Richard
sci-fi.
Roper?
No, it's nothing to do with. It's an amazing sci-fi movie, indie movie, very small budget, but it shows you what you can do nowadays with the technology that you have to create this gorgeous movie. And it's essentially a story about a group of scientists that fly to the moons of Saturn, Europa to be specific, which is covered with ice, to drill through and look for life. And it is the
Did they find it?
It's a spoiler alert. I'm sorry.
Isn't this on video on demand or something? Can't people watch it or something?
I'm not sure. I saw it in the theater, and it's really such a gorgeous movie. But if you got a nice TV at home, you should go see Europa Report.
I just missed it. It was at LA Film Festival, and I missed it.
There's my surprises.
Lisa and Pete, what are your surprises?
Okay, one of my surprises.
Oh, she's referring to her notes.
Best film of the year that just kind of snuck up on me. Blue Jasmine.
Oh,
yes.
Best film of the year so far.
Just saw it last weekend.
Blanchett.
Wow.
Kate Blanchett, unfreaking.
Out of the park.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Wow.
Really.
Andy, we were talking about Andy hasn't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it yet. Well, you were on vacation in Maine or something. So the only thing you saw were like ticks and deer and all that kind of, and Russian hookers.
It's a darker movie than what you'd expect from Woody Allen.
Yeah.
But Kate is just the Oscar performance.
Here's what I loved about it. A lot of times guys will get into a Woody Allen movie and they sound like Woody Allen. Yeah, well, what am I going to do? You get that kind of
Yeah.
Woody Allen thing.
Neurotic
She was able to, I think, still get his angst and all that he puts into a movie, but without sounding like Woody Allen. And boy, what a performance!
And surprises from the supporting cast.
Yeah,
Oh my
great.
gosh, Bobby Cannavale.
Oh, Bobby
Louis
Cannavale.
CK.
CK.
Yeah, and it's going to be the widest
They were
release
amazing.
this weekend ever for a Woody Allen film. 1,200 theaters, which is huge
Wow.
for Woody Allen.
Wow.
So,
That's about 1,000 more than he's ever had.
You got to,
Yeah.
Andy. You got to check it out. Say you should too. All right, Pete.
want it, yeah.
What about a surprise from you, Pete?
A real surprise for me, not being the big sci-fi freak that you are.
Yeah.
A
Proud
big
of it.
real surprise for me. The most fun I think I had in a movie was Pacific Rim.
No.
Guillermo del Toro's
Seriously?
movie,
Yes.
which I
Surprisingly
loved,
fun.
and it's a big giant monster movie. And I thought, oh God, and I went and saw that, and I thought it was really good, and it
I
should
dug
have
it.
done a lot better than it did. But I think there was such burnout by the time they released
Yes.
this in July.
Now, I'm glad you bring that up because how many times did we see New York destroyed this year in
I know.
CGI?
Too many.
Too many
It's
times.
just it's too much for us.
And it's a shame because Guillermo del Toro who directed this. It's a very.
Why did
clever
you like
film. It had a story. And I could follow it. It had this relationship between these two that were out to crush these monsters there. And it was really interesting what they did. They created a monster essentially to fight the monsters. I thought that was unique.
Yeah.
And this guy knows his way around this genre. He loves it.
Yeah.
And it comes through on the screen. And that's what I loved about it.
I just
It
have
was
to
also good seeing Godzilla again.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, that's what it
well, when
is.
we were kids,
They're making that now for next year.
Oh, my
when
God,
we were
yeah.
kids, we'd come in for playing on Saturday afternoons so we could catch the sci-fi movies in the afternoon. And
Yeah.
Godzilla.
Chiller.
I just have to say one thing I just noticed. The chyrons, I have you guys sitting in the wrong chairs. So this is actually Pete Hammond right there. There's Pete, and that's David Freeman over there.
I'm not Lisa.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
what you're trying to
and that's Lisa Johnson Mandell, and they are all terrific critics, and that's what. So when
We'll
Pete
fix
say,
it in post.
Pete's going to see this tomorrow, he's going to say, I had David Freeman's Chiron up the whole time. And he'll go on Deadline.com and smear us, Andy. We're finished. We're done on this business. Say will go on because she's 25, and they always land on some kind of deal.
You know what? I have to agree with you on Pacific Rim. I mean, it took a double martini and my husband to drag me out
Wow.
there to
Yeah.
get to that movie. I didn't even want to see it, but when I got there, I was delighted. I
So
was
much
pleasantly
fun.
surprised.
And good acting,
Rock'em
you know.
Sock'em Robots.
Rinko Kikuchi, who was nominated for an Oscar for Babel a few years ago, plays this Japanese girl who is brought into this project. She was like an intern, actually. Hello, intern over there. And she winds up, saving the
She
world.
was really good.
I mean, it's really a good movie. I also had fun, I must say. My little guilty pleasure was a movie that's just out now, doing great. We're the Millers. With
You like We're the Millers?
I liked We're the Millers. I know it. I know it's not popular to say that with critics sitting next to me.
Right.
But I had a fun time with that movie.
Are you into like heavy drug use or something, Pete?
I wasn't at the time, but I had a good time with it. You know what? I was just in the mood for a dumb comedy,
And
and
you
it
got it.
delivered.
That's what you got.
And that's what I wanted.
But sometimes,
It's lazy
come on,
comedy.
admit it, you highbrow critics.
Yes.
Sometimes it's just fun to go to a film, and Bridesmaids did it a couple years ago.
Right.
The first Hangover movie definitely kind of did it. I don't know.
What about the new Simon
This is
Pegg
The World's
movie?
End.
The World's
That's
End.
exactly it. Guilty pleasure.
All right.
Hysterical.
Talk
That's
about
a great movie.
talk
We
about
all
the
agree
World's
with.
End a
Yeah,
little bit.
absolutely.
What's the premise? This is
my
Oh,
gosh.
God, please.
So funny.
Simon Pegg,
Best
Nick
comedy of the year
Frost.
so far.
One review I said, Chrissy Lemire at AP, she said best movie of the year so far.
Well, it's one of the
comedy.
worst I've seen.
Best comedy.
Oh, really? You don't like it? All right. Is that because you,
Like it.
Pete? Is that because you can't understand English people? or-
No, you know what? I didn't know anything about it. I like these guys, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost.
Yeah.
I went to it. It's these five guys reliving their teenage years where they're going on a pub crawl
Ultimate
in
pub
England.
crawl.
Yeah.
And they're going to wind up at World's End, which is a famous pub, and,
Yeah.
and they'd never gotten there when they were teens. So 20 years later, it's this thing. And I thought it started, the first 25 minutes were great. I was into it. And then all of a sudden they go into the restroom and they're battling aliens and knocking heads off, and there's blue blood going everywhere.
about it.
And there's
That's what's great
explosions.
about it.
And I said, I'm done. I'm done with this.
my
I'm done.
gosh.
And I couldn't get into it. And I know every critic, it's 96% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes,
Sorry.
one of the highest
Yeah.
on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it is. Okay,
Did
So
you
Pete,
like
sue me.
Shaun of
This
the Dead?
means Pete, that you're a loser.
I I'm sorry.
Did you see
That's
Shaun
it.
of the Dead?
Dude,
Hot Fuzz?
I love Shaun of the Dead.
Okay.
I was very
Did you see Hot
disappointed. I
Fuzz?
didn't like Hot Fuzz.
Oh,
Sorry.
Same
Yeah.
thing.
Because this is the last movie in the trilogy. You know,
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead, Hot
Yes.
Fuzz, and How
Oh,
the
please.
World
A
Ends.
trilogy is when they make one movie and then they decide to make it 2 more times after that. You know, that's the so-called trilogy.
we agree to disagree on
Could
this
not
one.
stop laughing
Yeah.
on that.
We've
It's
kind
one
of
the
we've kind of
best.
tapped on this a little bit. What was the best little movie of the summer? Best little movie of the summer.
Okay, way back, definitely.
Way,
is a
way
little
back.
Movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
I
want
have
to talk
to
about
say.
another one
All
that
right.
was kind of spring, kind of summer. Mud.
Oh, I loved
Yeah.
it.
With
Yeah.
Matthew
Mud.
McConaughey?
That was-
Amazing
that was
spring,
film.
but yeah,
Such
that
a
was
great.
sweet surprise.
Why?
Very
Very
good
much
movie.
so.
Why did you like it?
It's like a Huck Finn and Tom Sawyer kind of thing, coming of age for these 2 kids who run in on this island and meet this guy who's hiding out there, Matthew McConaughey, who's really, man, had a career resurgence, and this is just
Absolutely.
part of
Yeah.
it.
This is
part
And
of
this
it.
was at the Cannes Film Festival a year ago, and it didn't even get sold for 3 months. So,
Crazy.
you know, I don't know what they didn't see in it because I saw it there and I thought it was fantastic.
Say you want to tell your Matthew McConaughey story?
Not tonight.
Okay.
Wow.
Whoa.
Right.
Later.
There you
I
go.
want to call out something
Yeah.
because we haven't talked about documentaries at all.
Yes.
And there was a little movie that was a documentary that was absolutely remarkable, and it's called 20 Feet,
20
from
Feet from
Stardom.
Stardom.
Oh, the
You
best.
knew it.
The
I knew
best.
Go ahead.
that was
I
what you
set,
were going to
20
say.
set
Feet
you
from
guys
Stardom.
up. Go
The
ahead.
best.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
David,
so
talk
good.
about it. It's about backup singers.
It is about backup singers, and it's got Bruce Springsteen in it. It's got Mick Jagger, and Mick Jagger, you could tell, had a real crush on his
yeah.
backup singer. He's
Mary
got a
Clayton.
little-
Mary
right, he's got a
Clayton,
little
yeah.
glint in his eye. And I got
Sting.
Sting. I was going to go to him next. It got some big rock and rollers in it, but you got to see this movie. Watch it at home. Go see it if it's in the theater. It is such a wonderful insight into what it means to be 20 feet from stardom.
Yeah.
Talk about the perfect name for a movie.
It's a gem.
And these backup singers are just amazing. They have unbelievable talent and unbelievable voices. And I don't want to spoil it too much. There's some backup singers that aspire to be right at the front mic, and there's some backup singers that say, "This is what I was meant to do."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
this is
terrific.
my role, and that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And it's just, and there's your little movie, and I got big head nods.
It's a
from my other
definite.
two
Oh, I
critics.
loved it.
yeah.
You know.
Very cool.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we're talking to David Freeman, Lisa Johnson Mandel, and
Which one's Lisa?
Pete Hammond. She's in the middle there.
I'm just reading
the
these
chirons
chirons,
right
and I'm
there.
just.
You know, we had Mark Schmugger was here who did the WikiLeaks
Yes.
movie.
Yeah.
And
Great movie.
you know, there were some really good, strong documentaries coming out.
Yeah, very good.
And I would just say, we talked a little earlier about the fact that New York was destroyed every other movie this summer, and there was a lot of CGI. And sometimes going to a documentary is a really nice respite away. It's a great way to be entertained.
Absolutely.
But really, movies like 20 Feet from Fame and
20 Feet from Stardom.
Stardom, yeah, thank you, and WikiLeaks really help give us some perspective, and especially what's going on now with all the Bradley Manning stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
Right.
You mean Chelsea?
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Manning,
Yeah.
right.
Oh my
I Am
God,
Woman.
that poor guy.
Really, one day in prison and the guy's turning into a woman. This is
Well,
rough.
let me tell you, he was turning into a woman before he went to prison.
Okay, then.
Right, well, it sounds like a Russian hooker joke, if you ask me,
I
Pete.
don't know. They may be there with him.
Can I mention one movie that no one's talked about?
Yeah.
That's actually one of my
Yes.
favorite movies.
What, David?
What would that be?
Monsters University.
Oh, sure. You know.
Okay,
Oh,
there we
okay.
go again.
Wait a minute.
Animation.
Let's do animation.
Wait.
Okay.
You like that
Animation.
better than Despicable Me?
Yeah, too.
Nothing's better than Despicable
Oh,
Me 2.
Despicable Me. Come on, David.
I like Despicable Me. I thought Despicable Me 2 was kind of a little bit of a watered down version.
No, you didn't. You're
I did.
Squishy, but
right, it was a
still.
little squishy. I mean, come on, he's a spy in the first one. In the second one, he's a daddy and he cares about his girls. I liked it better when he was evil.
Oh.
Give me evil, okay?
Okay.
So, but we get back to Monsters
There's
University.
a very dark side to you, isn't
There
there,
is
David? This is sort of David coming out with a dark side.
Who would
tonight.
you rather be, Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader?
Jabba
Han
the Hutt.
Solo.
Okay, who would you rather be, Vladimir Harkonnen or anyone else that was in Dune?
The question is, who would you rather sleep with?
Oh, good, Lisa. Finally, now we're juicing it up here a little
There we
bit.
go.
Down there.
Let's get back to Monsters University then, because we want to talk about that.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was just like the first one, fun.
Okay, I'm going to
fun
take a little
movie.
break. When we come back, Oscar buzz. I want Oscar buzz from all three of you. Pete, Lisa, David. Let's talk about the Oscars here on Hollywood Headliners. I'm Robb Weller. Stay with us.